potentially before this thing peaks, probably what the state says goes, because any challenges are going to take weeks or months to go through the court system.
So it would be a good idea for the state to go ahead and claim powers with some sort of justification. I'm not saying willy-nilly, have it based upon the law, reasonable case, but they did that with sanctuary cities, and they've done that with 30 lawsuits against Trump, where they are making it up as they go along, and they're doing a good job. But these are not settled issues. I remember the air quality regulations in California, can they be repealed by Trump or not, is not settled. In California, everybody acts like it is. But when I see constitutional scholars in America, in D.C., they go, it is not settled. So,
and that's the truth about the laws. Long history. I mean, the Supreme Court's been in business the whole, 200 plus years of the U.S. government, right? They're there for a reason, because people still get in fight. I mean, states are still suing states. There's lawsuits between the states. There was a lawsuit, maybe 5-8 years ago, where Delaware and New Jersey sued each other over who could build a pier out of the Delaware River Bay, right? So states are still suing each other, right? People are still suing each other. New laws are passed. Sometimes the laws work. Sometimes the laws don't work. Sometimes they go too far, right? That's why we have the court system to check it. I think within reason, you say, hey, this is why we think we're right, and this is what we're going to do. And then you have to take a stand, a lot of my Facebook friends, talking about the shutdowns, and some want to argue that it's unconstitutional. I'm like, okay, go get arrested and take it to the Supreme Court, but that's a risk, And so, but there's a long history of that, right? And some people have, Rosa Parks, right? I mean, she goes against the law, and she ends up getting it overturned and changes society forever. But you have to take a risk when you do that.
Okay. Last minute thoughts, things you want people to think about, websites you want to plug. It's your turn. Anything you want to plug, say, ideas. You answered everything I possibly could ask, and it was brilliant. Thank you for providing clarification.
I'm a business lawyer. I mean, this is part of my world, interstate commerce, regulation, all that. I get brushed up on this stuff regularly. I don't get to do it as much from the personal side. Business owners, you want to connect, come check me out. Go to planningdoneright.com. That's kind of my general site for consulting and business. But, I think the bigger issue, we're talking about today, which is public health and safety. I think we're seeing a lot of discussion here. So I guess this would probably be a good thing for society in the long term, of how powerful the government should be and what they should do. But I'm glad to see that a lot of governments are taking health and safety seriously. A lot of the measures have been strong. I've been watching it. I think most of what I'm seeing has been constitutional. I've seen some rumblings of some unconstitutional things that have gone too far. And I think we all need to get informed and challenge those things that go too far. But we need to take it a step beyond just yelling and shouting, hey, it's unconstitutional, right? There's more to it, right? Because as we talked about, there's another layer to it, right? There's court decisions, there's interpretation. So, saying, hey, the government can't tell me to leave my house, it's unconstitutional. Well, you need to go a layer deeper, right? So start getting into some of the cases, get into the authority, read some other people, really read multiple legal scholars, like you talked about, Marcus. Legal scholars disagree, right? So if you really want to take a position on something, don't read one person's article saying something's good or bad or constitutional or unconstitutional. Read 3 or 4. Read the opposite side. Understand what the arguments are on both sides. Then now, if you read 3 or 4 articles from qualified people that have good analysis with it, now I think you have the authority to go out and say, hey, yes, I think this is constitutional, or hey, no, I think this is unconstitutional. So we all have a job here to be informed citizens. So get out there and get into this stuff. There's tons of information out there. You just got to digest it.
Thank you very much. I am sure that the way things are going, I'll be back with more questions if you're willing to ever come back.
Yeah.
And
I enjoy these conversations. I hope they're helping some other people out there, but they're fun. So look forward.
They are, because I got to tell you, the fact is that California is oh, did no one ever do it before? We'll go ahead and do it. We'll
Yeah.
just figure it out now. But they're making jumps every 36 hours that nobody's ever seen before.
Yep.
And it's difficult to tell where it is. And we're at the time to explore those radical ideas you never thought of would happen, hypothetical scenarios, because look where we're at. So I
Yep.
appreciate you being willing to engage in those discussions. It's very useful. Few people are willing to talk about this who have a background because it's not the norm.
Yeah.
And so you have to go into a new space, which I know with experts, they typically like to say what everybody else is saying and just regurgitate what was in the manual.
Mhm.
That don't work right now. We're
No,
going into new territory.
you gotta pull threads, right? So I mean, you like in today's conversation, we're talking about trucking cases and train cases and all these similar but tangential things, right? So it's challenging, and that's what you don't know is when and if some of this gets taken to the Supreme Court, you don't know which threads they're going to pull on and exactly where they're going to end up on. I've given everybody my best guess, based on my knowledge and information of where I think it would go, but you don't know. Every year, people are surprised by the decisions of the U.S. Supreme Court, and they're surprised by the decisions of the circuit courts, and they're surprised by the decisions of the trial court. Every year, people are surprised. So that probably is going to continue for a long time.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Yes.
As being a guest for an interview here, you're going to get a very free sample of hand sanitizer produced by Cal Pride Industries, supporting
Well,
Pride in California in response to COVID-19, raising awareness to help give donations to the people affected in Baja, Mexico. We'll ship that to you very shortly. We're working on getting the alcohol to produce it, but it's coming together and I'll get it to you soon.
lovely. Sounds great.
All right, I'll send you copies of this real soon.
Sounds
Okay,
great. All right. Talk to you
bye.
soon.